Okay, good morning to any replayers. If you're a replayer, don't forget you can still participate. What can you do? You can tap on the screen for hearts. You can rec on XX. You can tap on the screen for hearts. You can share this broadcast with other people. You can, of course, find me on Twitter or Snapchat. Hi, Joyce. And you can ask me questions on those platforms. Really wanting to get people more more invested in their own personal finances, and so I'm trying to trying to share some of my knowledge of things that I've learned and things I've come across, and get you on the right track. So if you're new to me, my name is Joannazarach, and I do a daily money habits broadcast at 10 a.m. Central Time, usually from Chicago. This week from the East Coast, and my goal is, hi, enjoy your class. Hi, thanks for saying hi, Joyce. I'll see you later. I was actually thinking about you and some ideas I have for you. So let me, I have to send you a message on Twitter about a couple ideas I had. Anyway, I have, one of the things that I want to talk about today is this concept. I've been really thinking hard about what it is that I'm advocating for, what is it I'm trying to teach people. Yeah, it was something that we talked about before, so yeah, look for my message. Might be later today or tomorrow. One of the things that I advocate for is for people to really think about this idea of their basic income requirements. So basic income is really an amount, you too enjoy your class. Basic income, hi Miss T, is basically the idea that it's an amount of money that will help you sustain, pay for your needs, like pay for your day-to-day needs. Hi, how are you? And so the thing is that here's what happens a lot of times. I see people treat income, the earnings. I see people treating earnings in two ways. People will earn a certain amount of money by getting a certain job or certain education, and then they will find ways to spend it all, right? So their lifestyle will be up against their earnings. The other thing I see, which is sort of the reverse but similar, is people figuring out what it is they need to live on and earning just enough money to pay the bills. Like either way is kind of is wrought with issues, because you're basically depending on your earning power to sustain it, or if you've actually solved for earning power, is that you're spending it all. You're just getting rid of it, right? And so the idea of basic income is, and by the way, there are basic income advocates out there. If you want to look into basic income, there's a couple people out there. I think Scott, I forget his name, but if you research basic income, you'll see that there are people who are advocating for it in the US, and there's actually in Finland, as of next year, they're going to provide a basic income to every single citizen there. And basic income is just enough money for you to pay for the necessities. What are the necessities, right? Because we kind of get in a loop where we start finding more necessities in life than we actually need. Basic income covers your shelter, comfortable shelter. It covers your food requirements, nutritious food. It covers some safety, etc. But it covers just healthcare, just your needs, right? Your needs for an individual, right? So we talk about basic income for an individual. Here's what I'm trying to get this idea planted in people. You too can have basic income. How do you create basic income? You create it by generating an asset base, which means you accumulate some of the value you create in the world, and then you keep it and you invest it, and that investment generates a return, and that in itself is a basic income for you. Here's the problems most people run into. And this is why exercise I want you to do is figure out what your basic income number is. What is the amount of money, if you were receiving a basic income, that you would require? And it might be slightly different. By the way, there is already a number we know in the US, $75,000 a year pretty much covers your needs. And for some people, that still might be a high income. It depends where you live, right? Cost of living plays into it. But if someone says, look, you can have a fixed amount of money that you're going to get no matter what effort you put in, right? This is the basic income principle. And you're like, wow, if I just had $35,000 a year, for example, I'll use it as an example. Let's start with $35,000 a year, where I just was getting that money and I could pay for, that should pay for food, they should pay for some basic shelter, maybe your health insurance co-pays, then you could earn money on top of it, right? That's what I'm advocating for. That's what financial freedom is to me. It's not having unlimited funds to buy everything you want. It is having funds to create a basic income cash flow from your investments. But the first thing you need to really figure out for yourself, this is why we get more conscious about money, is how much would your basic income be? What is the requirement for you to have basic income? And again, it's because when we start thinking of income, we just think indefinite, like unlimited, right? This is what wealth means to some people. Unlimited amount of money to buy everything you want. I want you to reverse it. I want you to ask yourself, what would be your basic income number? So that's the step number one, because you gotta figure out what would it take. Don't include student loans. Don't include, don't include the trappings that you've already gotten into. Don't look at your budget. This is a different number. This is if you had a clear slate and you say, what do I truly need in life that I would benefit from? And what would it cost to pay for it, to sustain me, right? Sustainability income. So figured out that number. Again, I like to use $75,000 as my guide. Like, that's well researched statistically. That's, so if you're $75,000, and by the way, here is the little graph. So this was an exercise where I was trying to build up to $1 million in 10 years, and that's, by the way, how much dividend income you get from it. Near $75,000. So basically, it's nearly $1 million. If you have $1 million, it would generate in dividends at 8%, $75,000, close to that. And so that would cover it. So the thing is that most people think of retirement income as something you're going to spend down once you stop working. And I want you to start to shift that thinking and say accumulation to provide basic income. That's really I had like an epiphany yesterday. I was talking to my husband. I was like, what am I really trying to do? I'm really trying to give people the conviction that they can do that and the steps they can follow to reach a level where they themselves have a basic income for life. And I think that that's to me a kind of a profound, hey, how are you? That's the profound realization that I had, and that's what I want to teach you. Like, that's all the steps that I talk about, is to arrive at what your basic income is. So this is the task for today. Literally figure out what is your basic income. And again, don't look at your budget. Don't look at you've arrived at spending, especially if you're outspending your income, if you're just barely making enough money to pay the bills. Think deeply about this. Put some numbers down. Put the monthly multiplied by 12. What would housing look like? Oh, I did not know that. Hello from Paris. That's probably fairly expensive living. I don't know what the rents are in Paris, but figure it out and make yourself location independent. One of the things that we do is we get fixed about our own current situation and then don't consider it. Well, what if you didn't have to have a job? What if you just had money for rent? Where could you live that was lower cost? So figure out your shelter, figure out your nutrition budget, figure out your connection budget, figure those things out and say, these are the things that are essential to my life, and put a number against it. And that's the number you're going to work from when it comes to figuring out what the capital asset base is. So that's the task for today. I'll talk a little bit about my own exercise. I've been working really, really hard at this. Who better than presents? Okay. Am I a teacher? Yeah, I teach personal finance. I'm not a teacher professionally. I'm actually a management consultant. I help businesses make more money, and I manage my own finances. But I'm teaching this concept, and so I will be developing coursework around this. Like my first year, so I started in October, my first year is really to help people and figure out what people really need help and find my own, like what am I advocating, and this is what I'm advocating. So the goal for you is to write down your basic income number. What would be the amount of money that you were getting annually? It's kind of like a pension. Like pensions have gone away, right? But it's like it's a stable amount of money that you get every year that would allow for you to just be free, right? To pay for your basics. So you need to figure out your basic income. If you can't use $75,000, hey, there's nothing wrong with statistics. But to figure out backwards, say, how would I use $75,000 if I had it, if I didn't have to go to work, right? If I didn't have to earn it, how would I utilize a $75,000 a year guaranteed pension, annuity, whatever you call it, basic income? How would you live off of it? And if your number's higher, that's fine. If your number's lower, that's fine. But figure it out, break it down, and make it real. Make it real. If someone were to say, I'm going to offer you basic income, what would be your number? So that's the task for today. Tomorrow, I'll take you through some of my rationale and how I think about it, and what it is that I've done in terms of like, here's the housing, what I've done actually in my personal life to limit it. Yeah, you're welcome. This is a very profound thing to think about basic income, because it can really change your thoughts about money and wealth and what it means, and give you a goal. And that's really all I'm trying to do, is guide you to get you set on a goal for yourself, for wealth accumulation. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot. I'm gonna run. I'm here on the East Coast. I'm gonna enjoy a day in Philly. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. And thank you for all the hearts. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's been something that's been, like I said, this has been, the conversation that I've had with you guys on Periscope is actually where I arrived for myself and for just this concept. So I really appreciate all the encouragement that I've gotten, and the, the constant presence of very many of you. So if you're just visiting, you can follow me, because I talk about money and money concepts every day. All right. Thank you. Yeah. Enjoy your day as well. Bye, guys.